What needs my Shakespeare for his honored bones, the labor of an age in piled stones, or that his hallowed relics should be hid under a starry pointing pyramid? Dear son of memory, great heir of fame, what needst thou such weak witness of thy name? Thou in our wonder and astonishment hast built thyself a livelong monument. For whilst to the shame of slow endeavouring art thy easy numbers flow, and that each heart hath from the lees of thy unvalued book those Delphic lines with deep impression took, then thou, our fancy of itself bereaving, dost make us marvel with too much conceiving, and so sepulchred in such pomp dost lie, that kings for such a tomb would wish to die.
Okay, so I kept a running tally of the words that I understood. I think we're at 5. Welcome to the pod, everybody.
Yeah, hi. Anyway, we didn't miss last week, by the way.
You're all just wrong. We just combined it into this episode. You'll notice the cut whenever it happens. I'm gonna do it like halfway through that word.
Like the music starts there.
Like it shuts on real quickly. No fading at all. Another Sunday afternoon, another PoDumb to be recorded to release.
I couldn't agree more.
A wild time.
This was Tech Week, right, Luke?
Yeah, we actually opened on Friday.
Oh, you did?
Yep. So we've had 2 performances. We've got 2 performances down.
Oh, okay. Sick.
And?
Oh, it went so good.
Oh, good.
So good.
I got you.
I don't think that's what he was referencing.
Them be the musics that get
really?
the white people.
Yeah, no, the first night's audience was a little iffy. Like they weren't nearly. There were definitely like reactions.
Mm-hmm.
That like I've like even on stage in the scenes where I was there, I could hear stuff being reacted to. But last night, oh my gosh, they were eating it up.
Oh, good.
They loved it. It was awesome.
Good. You'll have to. I totally forgot that it was this week or the week after, whatever. So you have to send me a link so Gabe and I can go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hey, what days were the shows on last week?
What?
What days were the did I say what day were the games on? What day was the play on last week?
This week we opened on Friday, and then we had one yesterday. So Friday, Saturday, and then the rest of the weeks it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday. There's no Sunday shows.
I don't know if I'll be able to go.
What?
So last week, Tuesday, I went up to Erie. Thursday, I went to Mount Chestnut. Friday, I went down to Pleasant Valley. Saturday, I was down in Jefferson County for a volleyball game. And then this week, I have a deck hockey game Thursday, and then I cast another volleyball tournament Friday, Saturday, all day. So
well then,
my schedule's been a little crazy for the last week, and then this, unfortunately.
Huh. And this is this volleyball or basketball?
Volleyball. I think basketball, I don't know, it starts different, like a different month every season. Like I remember the last year I played basketball, we started January. But then the year I stopped playing, it started in November, which is a drastically 60-day difference. I don't know.
Huh.
I haven't done basketball in a hot second. Volleyball season's starting to wrap up.
Okay. Well, let's see. How long does the play go, Luke?
We close November 5th.
Okay.
Are you free that day, Gabe?
I'm after the 28th, 29th, I'm pretty much.
Okay.
Oh, then yeah, you could do the last weekend.
Right.
Yeah, third, 4th, and 5th are our last performance dates.
All right, I'm excited.
We'll try and make that happen.
Come on down to the South Park Theater.
What's that, South Park?
This isn't.
Wait,
this isn't
is a bit.
doxing.
Okay.
This isn't. No.
Like, oh my gosh, I love South Pike. Oh, it's so.
Is it South? My God.
It's okay. It's
All right,
okay.
so
it's all right.
so
Wait,
how
so, like,
much?
Gabe, do we have any fans in the area? I don't know.
I have no
I don't
idea.
know them. All right. Well, I mean, Luke could post the link and we'll find out.
Yeah, gotta be somebody around here.
No.
Probably not.
Yeah, not necessarily.
Yeah, there doesn't have to be,
There's always got to be.
considering there's like 7 of them.
Slapshot Premier League might have skewed my idea of people population dispersity, because there's like 6 out of the 100 teams that are just from north side of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Like, I'm within driving distance of like 6, maybe 7 rosters.
Oh, jeez. And they have to pick a different region for their name or what?
Yeah, we have a rule that only 2 people can represent one like North American, because whenever you sign up, you have a North American location, then your mascots, like the Philadelphia Fantasy, like the Brooklyn Bandits, the Michigan Mallards. So we have a rule because one year we had 7 New York teams, all of them in the same division, and that got confusing very quickly. So we made a rule that you can only have 2 teams at a time in the whole league representing one location. So there's 2 Pittsburghs already. There's 2 Pennsylvanias. There's 2 Gibsonias. There's an Allison Park. Katanning, the Katanning Knights. They both start with a K, but it doesn't sound like it rhymes. But we had to split them up. They were not happy.
What are they gonna do?
Somebody wanted to sign up as the Yahoo Yinzers, which I thought would have been. But
I like that name.
there's nowhere up here named. They could have been Yorktown, the Yorktown Yinzers. That sounds like a cool.
Yeah, it's got the yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of skewing my view of our fan base of all 7 people, but 4 of those 7 are our parents, so I'm right. And the other 2 are Sam and his alter ego.
Daniel?
Yeah. I didn't mean that to be the joke, but there's got to be some. Probably.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth finding out.
Yeah. During that whole conversation, I started out really excited to go see this play, then I got really depressed whenever I thought I wasn't going to be able to go. Now I'm really excited again. That was a little dip in the middle of the roller coaster.
Yeah.
If you're not in the Discord, by the way, find a link. It's on our. Can we call it our website, the wiki page?
Alvin's website that we borrow.
Yeah, Alvin's hub of information for dumb. There's the Discord link on that. I think if you go to the PoDumb YouTube channel, the link should also be on. If it's not, I'll do it. I probably won't. If I'm just gonna shoot straight with you.
I'm sure it's in one of the descriptions of one of the YouTube videos.
I'll put it in all the YouTube. No, I'll I'll make a to-do list and I'll get her done. But yeah, if you're not in the Discord, go in the Discord. We have a link that you can suggest us topics to talk about. It just compiles it all for it. We can feel the need to pull up topics.
Yeah, we've gotten some bizarre ones. I'm actually looking at them right now. Do we want to slide into that, or do we have more we want to talk about first?
I mean, the spirit of this podcast, every recording session has been us sitting down, hitting record, and go.
Yeah.
Which I think is the beginning of every great podcast.
I couldn't agree more.
I've listened to almost one ours. That's what they do, and I find it entertaining.
Yeah, that's Joe Rogan.
Yeah,
and he is the most listened to journalist of all time, which is crazy to think about. Yes. I mean, I guess journalist is a loose term, but
I mean, professional journalist, because there's a lot of not professional journalism, like all of it.
Yeah.
All right, there's like a top tier of the elite, and those are the only ones that actually like, it's not hard to be a journalist. I've come to learn this while I've been doing commentary. Because whenever it comes to like interview journalism, because
You don't think that's hard?
I really don't think it's.
Didn't we have a conversation before how we've all said conversations are difficult?
Yeah, but with an interview, you're not the one that has to do all the talking. You just have to find the right button to push to get them to go.
Right, well that takes some skill.
It doesn't though. If it's a sporting event, that's my bread and butter. I have 2 questions that I can ask people that'll send them on like an easy 5-minute answer.
Yeah, well, so sport interviews they're all the same. It's like, what did you feel when you hit that ball?
Yeah.
Excited. Luke?
Ooh. Sport ball.
Right.
Luke's not interested. I mean, yeah, you could always like they'll walk us through this play. Those are boring. Like you gotta pick something up because you could always talk about the game that just happened or the game that's upcoming, and that would give you an answer. Or you can ask them about things that aren't on camera, which I find more interesting. Hey, you guys came off a game Tuesday. What you guys do in practice between then and now that you think will help you guys out tonight? And then that'll let them talk about like what the coach is like, what the drills they run are like. I find that interesting. Now I have that information on what good coaches do to help their players and what bad coaches do to hurt their players. So if I become a coach, I'll know what not to do, what to do.
Yeah.
And plus, that'll give parents an idea of what practices are. Well, because I do high school.
Well, I mean, it's interesting that you bring up interviews tonight because I did my first collegiate interview just a few hours ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, I inflated what it actually was. So I have an assignment in my history class. I have to interview someone and record an oral history. Oh, you all right there? All right.
He says from down the hallway.
From the inside of the back of a toilet. It's a little echoey.
It's just the background reverb.
Yeah. Anyway, so my history class, I have to interview someone who was part of a significant historical event.
Okay.
I can't. I found one. No. One of my grandpap's neighbors is a Vietnam veteran.
Yeah.
And first I'll tie it back to what prompted this. I had a hard time interviewing him because like every time I've had any kind of conversation like that before, my philosophy has been ask one question and just don't talk as little as possible just so I coax it out of them basically because everyone else I've talked to has been shy. He is not shy. I was there for 3 hours. I think I said 12 sentences.
I mean, that's journalism.
Well, it's not though. Because a good journalist would guide the conversation to facilitate the nature of the assignment. Well, maybe. I didn't do it well, I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Maybe you'd be better at it than me, Gabe.
Talk to people? Nah.
Anyway, he's a fascinating guy. He was... what did he say? He led 58 some patrols in 1 month, I think, which is incredibly high. And the reason it was so high is because a lot of the other sergeants in his division, platoon, I forget the term, they were like, I'm a mechanic. I can't lead I can't lead patrols. And he's like, you're a Marine. What are you talking about? So yeah, it's interesting. I tried to really pay attention because I don't think I've ever talked to someone who's killed people before.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've talked to. Well, I'm not allowed to say that. Talk to Homer. He might have killed people.
You know what? What
We don't
war was
know.
he in? He was in the Navy.
He was in the Navy, yeah. Yeah, I've always wanted to talk to somebody like that because I have so many questions. Like, I want to know what they remember of boot camp. Like,
Oh, I got.
Man.
We spent an hour and a half on boot camp.
just like growing up, I always thought like that looked like fun. Because like the running looked like it sucked, but all the obstacle courses and like the physically demanding wall climbs, like that looked like fun.
Yeah,
It still does a little.
yeah, I could see that. I remember you telling me one time that you wanted to like you couldn't think of a job that you would want to do, so you're like, maybe the military, because if I die, at least my life will be worth it. I'm like, whoa, this escalated quickly.
I was like maybe 10.
Yeah, well, still.
Yeah.
Wait, you were 10 and said this?
Yeah, whenever I was really young, I wanted to join the military. I thought it'd be fun to go through boot camp.
No, more if I die, my life will mean something.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeesh.
in the cosmic universe of everything, it'd be like that sometimes.
Semper Fi.
I think that might have resonated with another paper that I wrote after I about.
Yeah?
I don't remember. I think it was like the story of me or something. I went through like the beginning, like the first step, the first talk, like the first friend she made, etc. Then it got to like the later stages, like this is the last time she breathed. This is the last time like someone thought of her.
No.
Like this is the last time like a piece of her remained, like her data on the internet from everything. And
Wow.
yeah, like there's some heavy stuff like that. Like eventually everything you do won't be here. But I'm having a good time. I'm having a ball. I have a Mountain Dew in front of me. That's all I want.
Well then.
Yeah.
Luke, did your grandpa serve in the military?
My mom's side, yes.
Oh, okay. So not, what's his name, Buck?
Yeah, no, no.
Okay. So the one I haven't met served.
Yes.
Okay. What was he? Did he see any action? What was his deal?
I don't believe he ever saw. Well, I'm not 100%, partially because I've like, I don't talk to them as much.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not as consistently, and also like whenever we last did talk about it, I was way too young to like get any of it.
Yeah.
Oh.
So as far as I'm aware, he didn't, but I could be completely wrong.
Okay. Well,
He could have been the John Rambo of his division, and I'd have no idea.
yeah. I mean, that's the thing. My history professor has mentioned several stories where she's had students like realize they've had relatives in significant historical events. Like she put up a slide of the crew that dropped the bombs on Hiroshima.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And years ago, she said she had a student. She heard her go in the back of the class, and she looks back and goes. The student goes, "That picture was on my grandpa's end table, and it's like there's a bunch of signatures on it." It turns out her grandpa was a mechanic and like got to see that flight take off. And my professor's like, "Yeah, your grandpa's a part of history. You gotta ask these questions."
That's wild.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's kind of made me, like I guess I should ask questions now.
Yeah.
I think my dad's dad passed away after Christmas, and he didn't serve anyway. But my mom's dad was in the service in peacetime, I believe.
Mm.
But still, I mean, I feel like I should ask questions.
Absolutely, yeah.
I've always been fascinated by like hearing the stories that older people tell. I remember being in church, I think I was 16, 17 years old, And after the service, there was like an older guy that had dementia that they brought there, and his caretaker like went to get water or something. So he was just there all alone. And he like kind of meandered his way up to me because I was just standing by the wall all alone. And he just started telling me stories of like the 1930s and the 1940s. And like,
Oh, geez.
it sounded so interesting from like, because this was such a long time ago for me. It was like 6-7 years ago, but I remember 90% of that conversation because I like hearing those stories. Like
Yeah.
he was a son. His father went off to war and died. His mother stayed home, did what she could, and he was one of 7 brothers back then. And they all worked. They all tried to get what they could, and like their priorities went pretty much food, boots, and then like just wherever else that might go, like actual more food, like for mom, fixing the house, apartment. They said they didn't buy their first car until they said 7 of them saved for, I think he said 3 years to buy the first car.
Oh my gosh.
So they were all walking to work every day. They were all, I can't remember what factory. He told me the factory name. I have never heard of it before. I've never seen it. It's gone now. But he was talking about his factory life. And by the time he got to like his work life, like the caretaker came back and apologized, like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Hey, we have to go get lunch." And immediately he snapped back to reality, like, "Let's go to McDonald's." And I'm like, "Oh, come on. It was such a good story." My dad came up to me like afterwards, like, "So you make a new friend." This was like a 45, 50-minute conversation after church one day. I asked maybe 2 questions. I just smiled and listened to the rest of it. It was awesome.
It's a long bathroom break for the whatever. Anyway,
Yeah.
That's cool. I mean, did he live around here?
I have no idea. I've never seen him since. I've never seen him. I'm assuming that because it was around fall time, so I assume that they were just rocked. Yeah.
Huh.
I hope I probably won't get to meet him again. Never mind. I'm realizing that he was like 85 whenever that happened, 7 years ago. So he might have outlived the queen, but I don't know. Or I guess the former queen. I don't know. I don't know what I'm putting down.
Yeah, I'm smelling what you're stepping in.
I wish I got to talk to my great grandparents before they passed on. My great grandpa Jack served in the army, and then
World War II?
don't know. That is a great question.
I assume so.
Because I remember going to his funeral. I think it was my senior year, and they did the so many shots salute. That was awesome to watch, seeing his old comrades up there. But he was the guy that like basically raised my dad, so he had a special spot in my family heart. So I got to hang out with him maybe once or twice a year, but it was always at like Christmas when all the other kids. I never actually got to talk.
Oh, okay.
I kind of regret because I bet you he had some cool stories.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
And then on my mom's side, my great grandpa Snipe served in Air Force and the Navy. I don't know which branch or like what section of those his job title was.
Wait,
But
is that a thing? Can you? Well, I guess you can do both. I've just never heard of guys switching before, I guess.
this would have been back before World War II.
Before?
He stopped serving like 5 years before World War II happened. Like he was an old man.
Well, wait.
But
I didn't think the U.S. had the Air Force until World War II.
he might have done Navy and then switched to Air Force. I can't remember this about it. I think I was 6 whenever he died, so I just heard it from a few years.
Huh.
Oh, next time I see my grandpa, I'll ask him about it. I
Okay.
want to know. Like he served in
Yeah.
2 different branches and cut it off.
Mm-hmm.
That led to my grandpa. You guys met grandpa.
It's been a hot second, but yeah.
He owns the property that Lance's trailer is on.
Yeah.
Then I haven't met him.
For your guys' lore at home. He owns the shotgun and all the props, and like I think 2 of the Lance videos shot up there.
Props.
Yeah, the totally fake guns, so we don't get thrown off YouTube.
You were pointing at Drew.
Oh my gosh, I showed that video to my buddy Zach from Texas. And he said, "That's a fake gun, right?"
No.
I just laughed. I didn't answer him. He's like, "It's a fake gun, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, you'll find out later."
Oh, what's over here?
Yeah. And he said the words, "At least your finger's not on the trigger." And that's whenever the line, "At least my finger's not on the trigger anymore." And Zach's like, "Dude, you just ripped this whole story off my life, didn't you?" This is exactly how I would have wrote this. Yeah, Grandpa Snyder served in the Air Force. I can't remember how many years. His son, Pat, served in the Air Force till 2 years ago. He was a recruit. Yeah, my uncle Pat's colorblind, so they wouldn't allow him to fly the planes. So he got stuck talking to kids, trying to get them into it.
Recruiter, and you might want to say recruiter instead of.
What did I say?
Well,
Recruiter.
I mean, it wasn't wrong, but
did I not say recruiter?
He said he got stuck talking to kids.
Yeah, he's got stuck trying to talk kids into the army, you know.
And into his truck. Yeah.
Yeah. Trying to get him into the system.
Anyway,
he served for a while, and he married after he got into. I don't remember what her name. I don't know what her maiden name was.
Grandma.
What would I consider my uncle's former wife? Would that just be ex-aunt?
Uncle. Just whatever her first name is, probably.
Yeah. All right. So he married a chick named Danielle, and Danielle went on to they never saw each other because they were both in drastically different parts of the Air Force. We went over to Colorado where he was stationed for, and she got shipped off to Afghanistan to help with one of the generals. She was the assistant to one of the generals over there. And so after I think 4 years of her being overseas, my uncle being transferred to Hawaii, they ended up splitting apart. Like, my uncle doesn't have any cool stories. Like, I've asked him about it, like, time and time again. My uncle doesn't have any. Like, he's got, like, travel destinations he talks about. Like, Hawaii was nice. It was hot. And, like, that's exactly what everybody says. Colorado has mountains. Like, ooh. Went to Ohio.
What? Dude, we gotta go to Ohio. Bite your tongue, Luke.
Yeah. There's a military base over there that he went to for a while, and that's the whole story. That's all he would. That's the whole thing. Like, I asked him about, like, hey, you got any Ohio stories? He's like, there's a military base over there, or an Air Force base over there. All of it, 100% of that story. He's been around.
So that's your dad's brother?
That's my mom's brother.
Mom's brother. Gotcha.
I think my dad's dad serves. I don't know what war he served. I haven't talked. I'm sure he's got neat stories. I just talked to him.
Sure.
I've had a lot of options to ask questions. I just haven't. You know, there's always some other immediate task at hand whenever I meet these.
Let me bring down the mood. Last, I guess it was Thursday, we discussed the Holocaust, and I mean, over here, people. You hear the idea, oh, you got to write down these stories and get people to say them so you can remember them.
Yeah.
because the stories are dying out. And what's one of the things about the Holocaust I never thought of before, but my professor said, is that, like, most of those stories died out immediately because, like, those Jewish communities, everyone, like, if you were a Jew in one of those Polish towns, like, you just got wiped from the face of history and, working memory completely, because everyone who ever knew you or had records of you died too.
Yeah.
So it's just bizarre and horrible to think about. just getting absolutely, whole community is just wiped from history. No one knows. Like a lot of Polish towns, she was saying, they don't even realize that there was a Jewish community living there.
Yeah. Like, how do you think like all the villages that were raided by the Khans, like all their history, kind of like the native, our ancestors to an extent came.
Sure. Yeah.
Like after the history is written by the victors, the way it is, it always will be.
Yeah.
Don't say we. My ancestors were Irish slaves. We didn't want to be here any more than anyone else did.
That's why I said to an extent, like, because my ancestors aren't from America.
I don't know, Luke. Your
They're from
last
Germany.
name is quite German.
So is mine.
Well, yeah, no, okay, so no, the majority of my family is from Germany. I think if I told the story on the podcast about my uncle found out where we're from.
No.
My uncle, my dad's brother, he went to Germany and he found the part of the country that our family can be traced furthest back to.
Oh, cool.
And it's a town called Pfeifberg.
Ooh.
And
Oh.
it is right outside, like literally like on the edge of the Black Woods where the Grimm fairy tales were written and based.
Oh, you
Okay.
did tell me about that. Yeah, that's
pretty
cool.
cool.
It's my favorite like thing about my family history.
That's the thing you put in your Tinder profile. That's really cool.
Now, do you know when your ancestors immigrated?
My German ancestors? No, I'm not sure. I know because my grandma, like I said, most of it's my grandfather. His family is where the German path comes from. My grandmother, she's where the Irish comes in. I think she told me it was like her. When was the potato famine?
Last year. Sorry.
Sorry.
I got a little overzealous. I got one of those pouches you can put the potato in the microwave with. Completely rejuvenated my entire potato love.
I'm just kidding, Gabe.
What? It's a real thing. It's like a $2 pouch. You can buy it on
I
Amazon.
just stop talking.
It works so well. It's like 3 minutes and you have a potato you can eat now. That's warm. I guess you could just eat a potato normally.
Dude, I own the Spud Shack. What are you even saying?
The Spud bucket.
Oh, yeah. That one. I was going to try and guess, but I thought I should just Google it. It says between 1845 and 1852.
Okay, so that's a good amount of greats.
I was going to guess that it was a lot closer towards the Depression, but
That's what, 4 or
I'm
5
very wrong.
grades? 4 or 5 generations?
Yeah, so it's about that amount of greats, and it was that many greats' grandmother was an Irish slave that was brought over during the potato famine.
Oh.
Interesting.
So at least that part of our family has been in the country for at least that long. The
Okay.
German half, no idea.
Huh. Well, the reason I ask is because my professor mentioned that she teases her friend whose ancestors are German, and her friend hinted that their family emigrated in the late, or I guess at the beginning of the 1940s.
Oh no.
Yeah, as in when the Nazis were fleeing Germany.
Interesting.
They're just teasing, but you know,
Yeah.
but still.
Yeah, I mean, you never know.
Yeah, who's to say?
Yeah.
Did you guys know that there's like massive? Well, I don't know this, but I know this, that there are massive Nazi colonies in Argentina.
Everybody knows that.
Yeah, I was like,
switching to Geico can save you 50% more on car insurance.
Anyway,
That's an interesting connection to make. Are you trying to imply something about the Geico gecko?
Geico is your final solution.
Oh no.
You said
Anyway.
Argentina?
Yeah, South America.
Interesting. I never knew that.
I was watching this Joe Rogan episode a year ago or so, and this guy was doing some kind of tour in South America. Excuse me. And like you just walk around this little town and it feels like, what's the mountain range in Germany? The Alps? No.
The veterinary.
Is it the Alps or the Andes?
No one will get that except us.
There's like 6 people in the world that'll understand it.
I barely even remember that one.
Whoa.
That's a good one.
I know it exists, but I oh my god.
No, the Andes are South America. Whatever. Anyway, it walking around the South American mountains feels like, in this one area at least, it feels like walking around the mountainous region of Germany, because there's just people in lederhosen and swastikas on the walls, and it's like, oh my. We are not in Kansas.
Sounds like an interesting place to be.
I couldn't agree more.
Nazi yodelers.
That's exactly where I was going to start going with that. Oh no, kill it, Jordan.
Man,
that's terrible.
I want to laugh, but at the same time, I don't want to. I want to get jobs after this podcast is over. That was really well done. That was a good bit, Luke.
Oh, thank you.
I didn't know you had yodeling in you.
He is German.
Yeah, it's in my blood.
Yeah. Let's see. Gabe, your middle name is Dietrich, right?
Yeah, that's my my dad's mom's maiden.
Okay. I mean, that's as German as it
her
comes.
Bank account. Let me know. My last name's first syllable is Ice. EIS. That connect.
Icen.
Russia. Anyway. So that was a good history bit.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Are any of these what am I trying to say? Yeah, thank you. Are any of these jumping out at you guys?
The first one I read was the chapstick one.
All right, go.
I'm not going to say it because I'm not allowed to. If you want to know, let me know. I'll DM you the joke.
You can censor it.
You can give yourself more editing work, Gabe.
It doesn't have the
fine.
same.
You're not doing anything else.
I just meant change the word. Whatever.
Do the jab as the actual wording.
That's fair. Different impact.
To answer the question of can you guys have guests on, I'll leave that up to you to guess. There's our episode's guess.
I feel like whoever asked that didn't know that one of our older episodes we had Sam on.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tom. Where were you?
Someone's not an active subscriber.
I don't know if we ever posted that episode.
We did. It's on the Oatmeal Guy.
Sure?
Yeah, I listened to it.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Joke's on you, Tom. So we have recorded a lot of episodes with guests on, but the way we used to do this show wasn't through Discord. So it was like in person in a small room with 6 microphones, several feet apart. And there's a lot of bleed over whenever you have that set up. So a lot of those episodes. It sounded like you were sitting in like. I'm trying to come up with a weird like analogy, but I can't think of one. It sounds like you're just sitting in the middle of a giant like toilet paper roll. For like the massive 20 people talking to each other. It was more chamber than it was.
Yeah. And it doesn't help that my speaking voice is naturally pretty quiet and Luke's is naturally less quiet. So
what a way to
What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say?
Exactly what I said. Luke, you should have said, what are you trying to say?
Yeah.
Peek the microphone.
If I were in my house, I would have, but I'm not. So
that's fair.
I'd be respectful.
What are you saying, boy? You saying I don't know how to stop talking? I don't know. You think I don't know how to stop talking? Boy, listen to him, boy.
Shut up!
Well, all right, then. I can take a hit. I ain't one of those people that needs to keep his lips flapping. You tell me to shut up, I can shut up. Yes, sir. I get the message here, boy.
Return.
Yeah.
That might be my favorite Foghorn Leghorn.
All of them are my favorite.
That's all of them, yeah.
I had that one on DVD, just that alone on like a burnt, like pirated DVD. I just play that repeatedly.
Are you guys in favor of the censoring of old cartoons like that?
Nah.
You know, really grinds my gear. There was one time I went into a Dollar General. They had the old like original Looney Tunes on DVD for $1. I was 15 when I walked in there, and so me and Caleb, we got like Mountain Dew, like the 24 cube of the cans. On our way out, we saw those DVDs. I'm like, yeah, let's get a few of those. We don't have like a whole lot of Looney Tunes at home that we can just. My dad's real particular keeping those. So we weren't ever allowed to touch those. I still have never touched them. But so we were gonna get them. We put them on the conveyor belt, and like the 60-year-old lady checking us out asks for my ID to buy the $1 DVD of Looney Tunes.
What?
And she's like, "Yeah, there's racism in this. You can't have this unless you're 18." I'm like, "What do you mean? It's Looney Tunes." And so
Madam,
my mom,
you've clearly never been in a Modern Warfare lobby on Xbox.
Yeah.
Believe me, racism is not age restricted.
it really isn't. My mom drove over because like she was across the street getting. This is like after
Black Duck?
like my mom came back over and like bought them for us and like handed it to me on the way out, just like out of spite for the cashier. And I don't know if we ever watched those. Like it was like the old Superman got one of those DVDs, and then we had like 2 or 3 of the Looney Tunes took out of the bin.
Oh yeah, the old Warner Brothers.
The old Warner.
Yeah, here's something. I bought some old episodes of those on YouTube. You can buy them.
Interesting.
And I don't have access to a number of them because they decided that they were racist. And now I paid the money for it, but I just cannot watch it on the platform.
That's why I don't buy digital stuff.
That's dumb.
That's smart.
It's not though.
No, I'm not buying the digital stuff.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Because the second anybody with the digital ones, as soon as they're on the server, the second anybody decides, oh, something about this is offensive, they can just stop you from watching it.
Yeah.
Whereas with the physical, it's like, hey, I want to watch unflattering depictions of Asians and just put it into the player. Show me your buck teeth, Chinaman.
Is that a thing they're known for? Or did you just make that up on the spot?
It's a real stereotype.
Really?
It's very much real.
One.
Yeah.
Huh. Big teeth, yellow skin, slitted eyes. Every time they walk in the room, you hear.
No.
Are you? I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying that's the stereotype.
Yeah, you're right.
Have I said anything to advocate it?
Oh, in private all the time. You hate Asians.
Well, obviously. I'm not talking about in private. That's
We were walking down the
confidential.
street and an Asian man walked by and you looked over to me like, we need to get rid of all these ching chongs. Like, I don't know what that was about.
Anyway,
So that was a good bit.
That's actually the Danganronpa games were actually mistranslated. It's not Bing Bong Bing Bong.
I mean, I can see how some of it would be offensive. Like,
Yeah, but if you paid
Bugs
for it, you
Bunny-
should still get to watch it.
well, yeah,
Or
that
they refund you. Like those are the
Yeah,
two
that-
options that should be happening.
exactly. That's not fair. But just the censoring of them in general.
Yeah.
Like, I can see how it would be offensive. Like, you know how Bugs will cosplay as certain
Yeah.
people, which he does. Like, he dresses up as everybody.
you beating slaves?
That's exactly what I was going to reference, because Bugs like dresses up as a slave. Like he,
Call on me at my Gettysburg Address.
I guess he's like performing in blackface since he's usually gray.
He's a
But,
rabbit,
like-
so it's fine.
Like Yosemite Sam is a Confederate, and he's like chasing him, and Bugs goes, "Don't beat me, Master! Don't beat this tight old body!" And it's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
And then Luke do the line.
What's this I hear about you beating slaves?
Abe Lincoln as Bugs Bunny comes up, or the other way.
Interesting. I don't think I've ever watched that one.
It's quite good.
It's very funny. What is it? He like Sam chases Bugs over the Mason-Dixon line. He's like, "Great hornet toads! I'm in the north." Runs back over the burn my boots. Burn my boots. And it's like an exact border. Like the second you cross into the south, it's all grass and lush, and then the north is all desert and barren.
But I mean, the thing about Looney Tunes is that sure, they definitely go off of racial stereotypes, but they make fun of everybody. Elmer Fudd is, he's white and he's this absolute klutz.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're.
Say comedy
what's
shouldn't
the-
be restricted. That's always been my. But
Yeah, free
No, it's a
speech
comedy.
shouldn't be.
there's always going to be somebody that's upset by something, and instead of just there's a button that I found the other day. Like if something offends you, you can push the button and it'll go away. It's called the off button. It's crazy.
No.
A lot of people need to find that button.
What is
Like,
this witchcraft?
My thing with it is just, I would rather we be able to see those depictions and know that they're wrong than just get rid of them and then eventually forget.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but that's exactly it. Because getting rid of them doesn't get rid of racism. It just gets rid of past examples of racism, even though I don't think those are necessarily racist.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's a lot that really aren't. Like we have a bootleg copy. This is probably going to be the most. Surprisingly, this will probably be the statement that's most likely to get me canceled sometimes down the future. But we have a copy of Song of the South,
Okay.
the infamous Disney movie that like barely got any release because everyone thought it was so racist.
yeah,
It's not.
that's what
I
I've
have
heard.
no idea. There is nothing in it.
I mean, the only thing that could be considered racist about it is that it's depicting a slave, right?
Yeah, it is, but it's well, they're not even slaves. The movie takes place after the Civil War ended.
Oh.
What?
They're not even slaves.
So what's the argument?
Supposedly, it's because they're being depicted. All the black characters are being like depicted and portrayed as happy with their situation, even though historically speaking there was a lot of like trouble that they went through afterward, and that's what people's issue is. And I'm like, what is wrong with it's a movie about an animated rabbit?
Oh. You said it was canceled for racism. Is it just because people saw black people in the movie and they're racist? That the
I think
whole
that that's actually what it was. I'll be honest. I think it actually was a bit of projection. Yes. Given the era of Disney that it was made in, it would not surprise me at all.
Was Disney still alive for that one?
Was he?
We both read that biography about him, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I think he was still alive for that.
I think he was too, because it's
think
very
the-
much the same animation style as Bambi.
Yeah, I think the last movie that came out before he died was Aristocats or maybe Jungle Book.
Okay.
It was in that era.
Sure. Yeah, that's kind of what I'd heard about Song of the South. It just seems, I mean, you can have depictions of happy people and still acknowledge that the institution of slavery in the American South was one of the humanity's greatest depravities. Like, it's so narrow-minded.
we should bring it back.
What, slavery?
Yeah. It'd be neat.
Who do you think should be enslaved, Gabe?
Probably the French. Probably be easy.
Hey, my last name is Lefevre.
I was gonna say the furries.
I mean, if we get enough horse furries, then we could just they could pull our wagons for us.
Well, I'm a wolf lion hybrid mix, so like I can get out of that one.
Oh man,
that might is that going to be the next war? The furries
versus the furries.
Yeah. I
They'll
mean,
lose.
Australia's already cosplaying as it. They have wars against like the ostriches not that long ago. Look it up. That's a real thing. They lost.
The emu war.
Of course, it was real.
Yeah.
And they lost. How do you lose to the emus?
Yeah.
Man,
That's something.
I wonder they never they never took New Zealand. Like they can't.
What
They can't do with their own continent to begin with.
Did they try?
I don't know. I'm from America. You think we get taught things outside of this nation?
Yes. Whatever.
Not only am I American, I'm a homeschooled American.
Oh man. So I feel like since we prompted people to post questions, we should take some time to address them.
Yeah.
Here's. Oh, you want to do that one first?
Already did that one.
Oh, okay.
I'm just gonna mark them off so we don't do them.
Gotcha. So Alvin is asking, what is the best music genre? And then the further explanation, you guys never talk about what music you listen to, and I need new recommendations. Well, Alvin, why don't you guys start? We'll get to me last.
Luke, do you want to go first?
Want me to go first? Okay, I can go first. So the reason I don't talk about my music tastes is because they're so weird. Like, I don't really follow bands. I'll hear like songs that I like and then enjoy those songs without you typically like going out and seeking the artist.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I hear another song if I hear a song I like and then I hear another song that I like that happens to be written by the same person, then I'll go and seek them out and see what else is on their discography. Other than that, I normally just leave it to one. At the moment, there are only 2 bands, I guess technically 3, that I actively follow, and that is Owl City, because I enjoy how I still like his stuff.
Okay.
So Owl City, I still follow him. Ninja Sex Party, because they're hilarious, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And a Swedish metal band called Sabaton.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, I'll recommend them just because I think I really like their music. But the thing about their stuff is, one, it's metal, which I know is very like, you either love it or you hate it.
Yeah.
And also the topics of their music is like historical events. So like they have several albums that are just about like World War II and World War I. It's all about like war around the world. They don't like glorify it. If they've gone on record, like they've had to go on record multiple times saying like, no, we're not saying that we love war, that war is good. These are just moments that can be preserved in a really epic way.
Yeah.
Sure.
And admittedly, their stuff is really freaking good. I do love it. I almost like when you brought up the Final Solution. God, they do have a song called "The Final Solution" about the Holocaust.
I forgot they had that.
It's not like the traditional metal type that you're probably thinking of. It's a lot more somber of a song.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a lighter metal.
Yeah, kind of.
Like tin.
Not quite aluminum, but
but I like them. So were you still had something else to say about that?
Just one quick thing. If anyone wants to check them out, I recommend starting with Shiroyama.
That was a good one. I would also recommend Soldier of Heaven.
I've not heard that one.
That was on their latest album.
Oh, okay.
Soldier of Heaven or The Unkillable Soldier or Shiroyama. Those are very good.
yeah, I've never actually listened to Sabaton outside of like what you guys show me. So I might start picking them up. I don't listen to
I think
metal
they
unless it's like warm
Sorry.
up music.
yeah.
It's the blood going. What the plants create.
It's got Brundo.
It's got bronzo.
They just released a new single about what was his name?
Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, the famous war hero, Chris Hemsworth.
You know, you had me going for a little bit until your octave went downward, and then I knew you were just making it up.
Same, actually. I'm like, wait, wasn't I not listening?
Gabe did say Chris Hemsworth, right? You know, the guy that played Thor.
Yeah. God of War, mind you.
Mario guy? Wait, that's different, Chris. Never mind.
That's Waluigi.
Chris Pratt is.
Oh yeah, okay,
Mario.
okay. So they just released a single about Fritz Haber, the guy who basically created weaponized lethal gas.
Okay.
And it's really good.
Yes. Yeah. So apparently, after his wife found out what that was being used for in World War I, she committed suicide.
Ooh.
Very brutal time.
Yeah.
So those are your big three, Luke?
I would say, yeah. But also the other thing about my music taste is that other than them, I pretty much exclusively listen to musical theater. Phantom of the Opera. I'll always recommend that show's soundtrack. The Frankenstein musical. I love.
This is where
musical But again, musical theater is just one of those, like, you either love it or you just cannot get into it.
Yeah. Might be every music genre though.
Yeah, for sure. There's a few musical theater that I can kind of get into, just kind of like Sabaton, just for this historical significance. Like Les Miserables, I like the "Do You Hear the People Sing." It's a, I don't know, I can kind of get into it.
Oh yeah, Les Mis is a good one. Les Mis is one of those I really don't have that strong of an attachment to, weirdly enough. Like, it's like, yeah, I enjoy it, but I won't like go to my grave defending it either.
Sure. And I've not seen any depictions of that yet. Like, I've not watched a movie or a play or anything yet. I just heard that song.
I'll definitely stay away from the
Russell Crowe. I know.
Everyone picks on him. Honestly, I don't mind how he sounded.
Okay. So, Gabe, do you want to go next?
I have a question before
I'm
go.
listening. Yeah.
What are your guys' takes on like Southern gospel genre? Like, think of VeggieTales' Second Chances. Like, God is a God of Second Chances. That song, like, as a genre. What do you think of that?
Yeah, it slaps. That's how people, you know how kids say it these days.
Kids say it. It's slimy.
It's wappy.
It's wappy.
Wappy.
We're gonna make a tier list at some point and have our own terms for each tier. That's gonna be the S tier.
Oh boy, I love this song from my youth. It was real wappy.
Yeah, sounds like that's a great word. I like that word.
It's weapon time.
It's weapon time. Turns on. God is a God of second chances. Grandpa stands up for the first time in 20 years. Weapon time.
It's all right. I mean, I guess the overall sound is, I could take it or leave it. I more focus on lyrics, I guess, and there's some I can appreciate. I lean more towards the older hymns more than the clappy music.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, there's some good old hymns. My personal favorite might be like I like the faster one. I'm a real fan of I've Got a Mansion. Is it a good... don't know if this is a bit or not, and it's amazing.
We straight blanching.
Yeah, that'll be A tier. Luke, what do you think of the Southern gospel genre?
Other than what I've heard in Jonah, I've not really heard enough to form an opinion.
That's not true. You were a Gaither boy.
Is that a slur?
Oh my gosh, the Gaither boys are in town.
Sounds like a slur.
There goes the neighborhood.
I was a mark.
Was going on.
Oh no.
I couldn't abbreviate that because that's already abbreviated.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Go on, Luke.
I was just gonna say no. I was a Mark Lowry,
Oh, okay.
and so by extension, I listened to some Gaither.
Gotcha. What is your opinion of Southern Gospel? Gabe?
It's wappy.
It's that time of day.
I can jive with it. I like it. But then again, I like every genre.
Every genre?
All right, so I've been listening to this one. I didn't think every genre was encapsulated by my music taste, but now I can confirm it. You look up on Spotify, this guy named Peter Rappel. He does a lot of, I don't know what genre it is, indie music. But there's this one track that I'd highly recommend called "Sometimes I Have Oatmeal for Breakfast."
Well, I sent you that.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Drew found that just randomly.
Yeah, I ever since then I have a playlist called Oatmeal Time, and that is in it at least 100 times.
I'm happy.
This and then one Rick Astley, "Never Gonna Give You Up." So I can throw it on shuffle and hope.
Just wait.
I don't know. I listen to literally that's why I don't talk about it, because every genre I at least have 7 tracks. But recently I've been rediscovering Tyler the Creator stuff. Put out a few new albums. I never listened to Kanye before, but now I'm
okay.
There's a few albums of his that are gospel-y. It's home. But then I also listen to Orleans, Still the One. I have a lot of 90s music that I listen to. Valerie. Valerie's a great track.
I've never heard of these.
But then I grew up on the Black Eyed Peas and the All American Region. There's in Natasha Bedingfield, Pocket of Sunshine. That's
I don't know, not heard that.
Banger. I got a pocket full of sunshine.
I got a pocket full of sunshine. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
That's wappy.
Yeah, that's the stuff I've grown up listening to almost encapsulates every genre. So it's just kind of carried on.
Do you like jazz?
That's pretty jazzy. That wasn't what I meant to say, but I stand by it. That's my undoctored.
Yeah. I congratulate you. Yeah.
You remember the times that me and Orange, me and Caleb would abduct you in the middle of the night playing classical music out of the front seat?
I remember it well. We had a Kim Jong-un flag that we flew out the window.
Yeah. It was a wild night that was freezing cold. It's the only time we ever have these midnight adventures. We've never told any of these stories.
We have not. I kind of forgot about them.
Anytime the power goes out around here, me and my brother, if we're free, we'll drive to Scott's house unannounced and hope his power's out as well so we can back on. Sometimes it's 3 a.m. Sometimes it's not. Most times it's February.
This is true.
And
the first time it happened, and then we'll get back to music, but the first time it happened, I had just gotten finished with a lazy workout, which I know is an oxymoron, but I was doing it really slow. I just woke up late.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I see a car in my driveway and I'm like, hang on. And then lo and behold, they had come to pick me up. I was still in sweatpants where the elastic waistband was all not
there.
working. There was no drawstring. So as soon as we got out in the woods, they just started falling off. Yeah.
The only reason me and my brother wouldn't go pick up Luke is because we didn't want to put him through it. It's a very, every time it's freezing cold. It's like 20 degrees out in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And plus, we knew that if we showed up to Scott's house, there's like a 50% chance he'd come. We weren't leaving until. There's been a couple times we've shown up and you just weren't home.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I don't remember what happened before. I think I tried to entice Drew into it and he was not about it. So we just kind of like left and drove around. We debated going and trying to pick up Luke. I don't remember our reasoning. Other than we just don't want to put Luke through it.
Plus, he's a little further out.
Like the few times, like the most recent time, probably like last year, me and my brother got really into classical music and jazz. Because some of the solos in those songs are fabulous. Really impressive to listen to. And then it also wraps around to, I used to listen to a lot of Psy, the K-pop band.
Yeah, you do. You do get around musically.
That really helped me out at FedEx whenever I was jumping, because everybody on that belt had a different music. Like one day I'd be in a truck listening to country music, going down through like the meadows of North Pittsburgh. And other days I'd be going down there listening to Young Gravy and like rap in the ghetto. And like I vibed with like everything they were playing, thankfully, or else I'd have a horrible time.
Yeah. Country is often infuriating to me.
Like between the years of 2008 and 2013, couldn't stand anything country. Now it's getting a bit better. 90s country, I can get in. But a lot of the times, like 90s country, people that listen to that also listen to, I don't think people realize, but a lot of country music is emo music.
Go on.
But with more twang.
And way more trucks.
And a lot more. Now that's that 2008 to 2013. There was just nothing truck, booze, and girls. But like if you listen to, pull up any 90s country song and think of it as a depressed black hair, teenager.
Me.
Yeah, so Luke, yeah, you'll get you'll get an emo song. Imagine it with like metal drums, different instruments.
I may have to see an example.
The lyrics are almost all like the same vibe back then. There might be a few exceptions. For the most part, that rings. I listen to everything. Like a few things that I remember most is Black Eyed Peas. Probably Kesha. Which is a weird like fusion of confusion between those three picks. But yeah.
Yeah. I'm kind of... Go ahead.
No, I feel like I've lingered on it long enough ago.
All right. I'm kind of like Luke, I guess. I don't like bands, and I don't necessarily like specific genres. I find certain songs that I like, and then I gravitate towards songs, not artists or genres. And so, I'll listen to We Are Young by whoever that band was from when we were growing up. Okay. And then I'll listen to Bob Dylan, who is probably my favorite musician. Not vocalist.
Yeah.
Not my favorite vocalist.
I mean, he's pretty good one, though. He's in like your top 100.
I'm riding on a train gone west.
Yeah.
Is that Milk Your Oatmeal? What?
Yeah, he's got that unique twang to his voice.
Peter Lorre.
It's like emo music, but with more twang.
He's not a country. Whatever. Anyway, he's my favorite lyricist. Gabe.
What?
I'm also partial to Simon and Garfunkel. What's another older?
They put out some slappers, knee clankers. What? You can't
Neil
listen to
Young.
like Mrs. Robinson and not tell me that's a knee clanker.
I mean, my knees do be a clanking.
Yeah, see? We're on the same page. Same medical bill.
A few of Neil Young's songs, although I think the way he reacted to Joe Rogan was pathetic, but that's beside the point.
I saw a really funny post when that was all going on about it. Yoko Ono threatens Spotify that if they don't take Joe Rogan off, she'll add her music to Spotify.
Have you guys heard any of her performances?
Only all of them.
But have you though?
No.
I know. Luke, I guess you haven't either.
I think I did at some point in the past, but enough to know I didn't like it.
Yeah. So everyone listening to this, including you two, at some point go to YouTube and look up John Lennon and Chuck Berry duet. And there's this video where Chuck Berry, the Johnny B. Good guy,
Yeah.
and John Lennon they're like, because Chuck Berry's like this hero of rock and roll, and John, obviously looked up to him. He grew up with his music, so it's a big moment. These two great musicians are finally together. They're singing on live TV, and they do a rendition of Johnny B. Good together, and then it's a super fun little thing to watch. And then they do another song. And all this while, Yoko Ono is standing behind them. She has a mic, and now she has decided to use it. And during the song, she walks up and just goes, "Why, and you can see Chuck's eyes widen as he's like trying to get a note out. It's one of the most freaky things you'll ever see.
That's wild.
And John
Wow.
and John divorced his wife to go to Yoko Ono for some reason. No one gets it.
It's like a freaking noise that a like a predator in nature would make. You're just walking through the Serengeti, and all of a sudden you hear the grass parts, and you just hear, and then you die.
I was just thinking one of those like things that you can slap around that stops the doors that you put on the wall.
Yeah. I love those things.
That's where my mind went. That's my favorite. That's the only instrument I can play. The triangle's too difficult, but that's my jam right.
Oh, speaking of instruments, what made that whole scene better is that Yoko is playing the tambourine.
What?
Like she can't play guitar, can't play piano. She had a tambourine.
The only thing you need to play a tambourine is both arms and a rhythm. I don't know if she has any of those.
Yeah.
I don't even have rhythm. Like a Phineas and Ferb song. Maybe that's why I have a weird music like selection. Because they kind of hit every genre with their song.
It's true. They had some good stuff.
Slappers.
some wappities.
Knee clankers.
Remember the time they did metal?
Yeah.
Give me a grade. That one?
Oh, that wasn't what I was thinking of.
Oh, go on.
I was thinking about I can't get my stop.
First of all, excellent delivery.
I can't always sing like Doofenshmirtz, but when I do,
It's Dos Equis.
Stay thirsty, my friends.
So anyway, if I'm not listening to them, I'm usually listening to I don't know what the exact genre is, but 80s rock, like the soft, not soft, but the not hard rock. So Journey, Boston, yeah.
heat of the moment, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Bon
yeah, that
Jovi,
was.
Guns N' Roses.
I don't mind those. I just don't visit them very often.
Like Def Leppard and Brian Adams.
Yeah, I don't mind those, but I just don't visit them very often.
Like the Tragically.
Welcome to the jungle.
Like
Yeah.
Huey Lewis and the News.
That is not metal or hard at all.
What about the Police though? They got some good ones.
Every breath you take.
I was thinking Roxanne, but okay.
Is that them?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that's newer, but yeah.
Rocks. Speaking of musicians, I have to get this in. So a little bit of lead up. So in the 80s, there was a famine in Africa, and Michael Jackson released a song called We Are the World. And it was, he got America's most famous musicians to sing with him as a way to raise awareness for the famine in Africa. And it's a very pretty song, very cool to see all those musicians together. Well, they made another one in about, I think it was 2008, 2009. And, they were trying to make it a big deal again. There was I think it was another famine or just some sort of crisis in Haiti, and they were trying to raise awareness for that. And so the musicians they pick are like, they're a big deal. And who you start the song with, I would think, and it has to be a big deal. And so you guys guess who started the song.
Richard Marx.
Luke?
Yoko Ono?
Justin Bieber, as like a 14-year-old.
Interesting pick.
Exactly.
This is 2018-ish, I'd assume.
No, 2008.
When did Baby come out? Hang on.
I don't know when.
I think that would probably 2010, so that preceded Baby.
Let me look it
So
up.
I can
it was probably after that.
I can probably get on board if it is a 2008 release. That's before Bieber dramatic, off the stage. At janitor's.
Oh, wait. We Are the World, the second one, came out in February 12th of 2010.
Huh. So it was right around the same, like his peak of Justin Bieber.
Yeah, I guess the Selena Gomez phase.
Yeah. Only time I wanted to be that man.
I mean, who wouldn't?
I should have asked Selena out whenever
How old is she?
She's not that much older than us. She's like 26, maybe.
Selena Gomez age.
She's
30 now.
30 than that.
Yeah.
But she doesn't look any different.
She kind of does.
A little bit, but she still has like the baby.
She does.
Her and Taylor Swift have not aged since like.
Yeah. All of the chemicals that Hollywood's dumping into their veins.
Yeah. All that all that foundation really covers it up some.
You don't need to put the chemicals in the veins. It's all in their water.
True.
Selena has that round face, so she'll probably always look like almost no longer,
Yeah.
That's the end of the sentence. So she's ready to cease.
Oh. Okay. Anyway, now what?
That's a great question. Thanks for that question, Al.
Oh yeah.
We have like 3 inside jokes for that now. Like, I wasn't expecting that. Got a tier list to make.
Yeah, that question was a real knee clanker.
Yeah. I don't know where that term came from. That's not original by me. That is just something that I've heard.
Real lifer.
Yeah, it's a real knee clanker.
I've heard knee slapper.
Really attuned to the waggle your finger to.
Oh Oh, okay.
It's like that same era of like before like think of Back to the Future when he plays Johnny Be Good, like that era.
Hmm.
Cool. I don't know why I just didn't say like the 50s. That would have been easier to explain.
Yeah,
But
well,
now you got a brain picture to go.
yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a good one.
It's a good one.
Again, if you want to like suggest things, it's on the Discord. Link pinned in main. Suggest.
Yeah.
We'll read through it on the air. So like, I mean, if we see what we like, you know,
I prepared a little.
I
looked
did.
through. So my sister submitted some of these, and it'd be up to you guys to determine who she is.
I have a pretty good idea.
Yeah, you probably do.
One about chapstick was her, right?
Yeah, that's definitely her.
Yeah, definitely.
Don't use chapstick before a haircut. Your lips will come out looking like Chewbacca's.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what happens
Yeah.
if Chewbacca uses chapstick?
That's
Would
a
it just get
valid
like
question.
stuck to his lips already? But he's already got like I feel like Sam Elliott still outdoes Chewbacca, but like he still has like a lot of hair around his like lip area.
You know, I did notice that he's a little bit hairy.
Around that section.
Yeah, he's got a hairy, a
Yeah.
hairy area.
That went out of the way.
Yeah, all right.
Should be ashamed.
I know.
Yeah, but like,
Yeah.
do you have any other ones on like the list to talk about before adventure?
Well, I gotta leave at 10:15. So
Yeah, I know, yeah.
So I don't know. I don't really see any like about diet or anything.
Is that you hinting? Are you gonna put a little note into the Tricket box?
No.
There's a few towards the lower, but those are like longer topic ideas. Interested. Yeah, Alvin might actually be our most, well, maybe behind Rachel, putting in.
Who did the Would You Rathers?
That's Craig.
Yeah, there's a number of those.
I think there's 4 suggestions for Would You Rather Craig themed it by himself.
Yeah.
A few of them are pretty neat. Some of them not as much. Gotta say, not his finest work.
Mm-hmm. It's okay.
Learning. He's learning on it. Is that a thing the kids say? I've heard it a couple of times and I don't know what it means. Learning.
I've never heard that.
Gonna nerd on it a little bit, you know? Like gnawing on it, you know, gonna dwell on it, and on it. That's what makes sense to me. Nerding with it. All right, so so Scott, pick a number.
A number. Out of how many?
Just any number.
69,420.
That's a high number. Can you pick a lower one?
Well, you said. All right. How about 7?
A little higher. More.
Oh, okay. 101.
I think a little bit higher.
102.
There you go. So you're in a house. You're chained to a chair. Your legs are tied to the legs of the chair. Your arms are tied to the arms of the chair. Head's tied to the head of the chair. Other body parts also facilitated, linked one in one with that part of the chair. Don't know where the kneecaps of a chair are, but they're there. So you're there. You're tied up. You ain't got nowhere to go. Man comes in, strolls in, little table, something lumpy underneath the cover on top of the table, wheeling it in, squeaky wheel. I don't know if it's going through the mic or not.
I can hear it.
So he comes in, squeaky wheel, you know, the rear right, if you want to make note of that for later. trying to like build this as fast as I possibly.
Yeah, I can't help but feel like this one's already rigged against Scott because you compare what Sam. What did Sam get? Oh, you're out in the woods. You're free. And what did I get? Oh, you're in the sewer. Here's like a couple directions you can go. Scott, here's the inescapable premise of Saw. Go.
Somebody sympathizes with my troubles. All right, Pillsbury Doughboy.
Okay, I got it together.
Gabe.
All right, so that was a good bit. So he wheels it in front of you, stops it, he locks the wheels in, and he releases the restraints on your arm. He whips the cloth off the table.
Oh.
There's a knife, fork, wheel of cheese, and a bottle of wine.
Yay. Okay.
So he doesn't say anything. You notice that his mouth is restrained entirely. He cannot answer. He just stares at you. Move your arms. You can't get out of the chair.
Can
What are
I
you trying
reach the tray?
You can yeah, you can reach everything on the top of the table.
Hey, Luke, you got a D20 on you?
Not right now. I don't know.
All right, I can roll.
All right.
So what would you like to try?
I grab the knife and try to cut my way out. Or wait, should I try and stab him first? Yeah, I should probably try and stab him first.
You're gonna try to attack the man.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Roll the.
It's a 1! I can't make this up! Oh my gosh, I needed to record my screen. There's no way I can fathomably predict that. Alright, so
Nothing ever goes right for me.
so the knife is in your hand.
No.
I was gonna make it a butter knife. But now the butter knife's through your palm, like your Which hand are you? What's your dominant hand?
Right-handed. I'm right-handed.
All right. It's even. It's your left hand. It's a 20. I rolled a 1, then a 20. What on earth? So, all right. So it's stuck all the way through your left palm. Wait, did you say you're left-handed?
No.
Okay, so it went all the way through your left palm, like up to the handle. The man just standing there, very confused. He put in front of you food and a drink, and you stab yourself.
Oh, why?
His eyes are just wide open. He's got the 1,000-yard stare. He looked like Mr. Krabs at like a health inspector out across the way.
Yeah.
The man full sprints out of the room, closes the door behind him. You're in like a cubicle. I think insane asylum, like padded cell, but without the pad.
Okay.
No windows, so they're not like watching you through. No security cameras, so they're not watching you through. They have no idea what you're doing. So how would you like to get out of this one?
Well, seeing as how I'm alone, I suppose I could take the knife out of my hand with my still working hand, cut myself loose, and then see if the door is locked.
All right, so I'm rolling this dice a couple times. I just told Google to roll a d20. 7 times in a row, I've gotten a 1 or a 20. So I don't think this is reliable.
Yeah, digital dice tend not to work. Even on D&D Beyond, it's very hit and miss on whether or not it'll be accurate.
Let me see if I have an actual d20. All right, so let me just make sure this isn't the one that I weighted. Meaning mine and orange gambling night.
Did you actually weigh to die?
Yeah. All right, this one's fine. All right, so what would you like to do?
Well, I'm going to cut myself loose and then go see if. Well, it's possible if I believe.
I mean, you did shank yourself. So
this is true.
Very true.
Well, I basically shanked myself with a spoon. And then I'm going to go see if the door is locked.
All right, so you cut yourself free. You go up to the door. You like jostle it a little bit. You push it as hard as you can. It won't open. So there you are. You have your wheel of cheese completely intact, still in the wrapper. Bottle of wine cork in it, sealed. You have the butter knife in your hand that you somehow miraculously. You just stood up and it snapped like baby grapevine. It was barely holding you on. Great, your strength is immaculate. Or at least you think it is. So there you are. You're in your cell.
Way to cover your bases.
I remember Luke's cop out from last episode. I'm gonna hold it in my back pocket. Yeah. So the door won't push open. You got a few more items at your disposal. What would you like to try to do?
So it's a padded cell. Are there any windows?
There's not.
Huh. So what is there any handle on the inside? Is there any way?
Yes.
There is.
There is.
Interesting.
There's a sign above it as well.
What's it say?
It says pull.
Screw you, man!
Well, you didn't sit and look at the door. You just wanted to check if it was locked.
I don't like this game. I pull on the door.
And so you open the door. You go out. You turn down the hallway. You go to you follow the exit signs. You get to the front of the building, and sitting behind the desk is a receptionist named Judy.
Oh, hey, Judy.
Hey, sweet thing.
Don't. Oh,
What? You don't want me to play Judy? You want Luke to play Judy?
I they can only improve.
Spill a little ketchup on yourself.
Yeah, that's what that is, gushing out of my palm.
All right, here's a towel, and she tosses you like a napkin, one whole.
Well, I mean, that's not nothing. I'm starting to like Judy. I staunched the wound.
Yeah, consider it staunched.
So, hey, Judy, I'm thinking quickly. I say, hey, I'm new on staff here. Can you tell me where the back exit is?
Oh, you're the new guy. Hang on. Come up with like a coupley name. Call her before that.
A coupling?
Yeah.
Well, I know a Judy at my church. Her nickname is Jude.
Your nickname.
That's not
your romantic nickname for Judy is Jude.
Oh, I wasn't imagining
hit on
her
Judy.
being. Okay.
Seduce this woman.
Oh. Okay. Judy.
She points back the hallway. Stop talking. It's down the hallway. Take a left. Take a right. You'll find the stairs.
All right. I take a left. I take a right, and I find the stairs.
Yeah.
And lo and behold.
Yes.
Well, you tell me.
So you push on the door as hard as you can. It won't open.
Gabriel.
See, you pull the door open, walk inside, and you see a long spiraling staircase. Not like a spiral staircase, but like staircase that spirals around. Goes up for quite a ways, as far as you can possibly see. It just kind of echoes like vertically for almost an eternity. Does not go down. You're on the bottom floor.
What?
Would you like to venture
How is it
upward?
an exit? Is it a fire exit?
Would you like to ask for the back exit? Would you like to adventure upward?
It exits exit.
Yeah. Well,
You're on the
bottom floor.
What? Is it underground?
I'm not going to tell you. You'll find out later.
All right, fine. I climbed the staircase.
All right. So how long? What floor do you come out on? How long do you feel like you can endure?
The ground floor.
We're on the ground floor.
No,
Yeah.
if it's underground, it's not the ground floor.
There's no labels. Pick how many floors upwards you go.
Fine. 6.
All right. Oh my gosh. All right, so you go up 6 floors. Open the door, you walk out. And it's another hallway. There's a few doors on the right and the left. All of them open. And a man pushing a cart down the hallway sees you with your napkin and your butter knife and your not staff clothing. And he's like, "What are you doing up here?" And you quickly notice, like, his name tag says he's Kenneth.
Yeah.
And you notice that he's just pushing around a cart with some items on it.
Uh-huh.
A butter knife.
What?
A fork.
Wait.
Wheel of
Okay.
cheese. And
Yeah.
a bottle of wine.
Right. Oh, yeah, I haven't picked one yet, have I?
No. You haven't. You picked a knife and wine or cheese. You picked war from the beginning.
Hi. Hey, Kenneth. We met in orientation. Do you
Did
remember
we?
me? Yeah, we did.
I
Yeah,
don't
well,
remember this at all.
I guess you were sitting up front.
Yeah. How'd you? Yeah.
I was there. Yeah, I was a couple
Oh.
rows behind you.
Oh, okay. Dave, right?
Yes.
Huh.
I am Dave. Try to be as suspicious as possible.
Oh. Nice to see you again, Dave. What happened to your uniform?
I just got cut. Don't worry about it.
Okay, that's your clothes came off your body when you got cut in the. Did you stab yourself with a
am I
butter knife?
Hang on, wait.
You have like a robe on.
And I was showering. I cut my hand while shaving.
The wound goes in one side and out. Yeah, you have a butter knife. How did this happen?
Don't worry. I get hairy hands. Don't worry about it.
I have hairy hand. All right, my dad has that. I understand.
Yeah.
Do you want my spare uniform out of my locker?
Nah, I think I'm good. I am getting a little hungry though.
Oh, okay. You want? All I got is wine or cheese. Like, I don't know if you want. I don't know if you drink or lactose intolerant or whatever. You can have these.
No. Oh yeah, no. I mean, that'd be great if I could just like have a piece of the cheese.
All right, so he cuts off a piece of the cheese and like hands it to you, like a little folded envelope, and then like, well,
Yeah.
all right, well, don't let Kevin see you out of uniform. He'll do what you did to your left hand to your right hand, and then also your head. So don't let that happen. Yeah,
Kevin.
that's
Kevin.
a joke. Anyway.
I know who he is.
He's like, all right, well, see you, Dave, and he like strolls off.
Yeah, see you, Kenneth.
Turn around, you walk down the hallway towards like where the locker room are, or wherever Kenneth. Both are true. As you start walking, you turn your head back and you bump into this chest of some person, and you look up.
Uh-huh.
A name tag.
Yeah.
Steve. Crazy. You run into him here.
Yeah.
Like look up. Oh, go on.
Steve, baby. Hey, you were in a place that I was also, and I met you. All right, well, good catching up, Steve.
you waltz past him into the hallway. I can't believe Luke saved you. Oh my gosh, that was gonna be a bear.
I know. I bumped into his chest.
Oh my gosh. Like Luke saves the day. It's immaculate.
Yeah. Well, here we are.
So you make it down to like the leisure room, the common room, locker room, whatever I said before. It's where people like keep their uniforms and stuff in this building. So you go in, there's a few people eating lunch, a few lockers, and you find the one that says Dave, and there's a combination lock on it. You can guess. It's just one number. If you guess the number, you get in the locker. It's
2.
1 to 9. Say 2.
Yeah.
The locker widely open. It wasn't locked. So the locker opens.
I guess I didn't.
You're learning like Dave's really clumsy. So the fact that they think you're Dave could be an insult, could not be an insult either way.
Oh, okay.
You're in the locker. You see that he has a spare uniform. You see a little picture of Dave.
Mhm.
Have you guys ever seen Office Space?
Liminal space?
Office Space.
No.
All right. So you know those glasses? Think of the boss from Earl. That's what he looks like. That's Dave. You look at Dave. He has a wife, like a 6.
Okay.
So
I'm sure
you know
that's relevant.
Do you want to take his spare uniform?
I need to be killed, honestly. I have 2 minutes till I have to go.
Do you want to take his uniform?
Yeah.
All right. So you go take his uniform. You go get changed. As you come out of the bathroom, you see 2 people walking down the hallway.
Uh-huh.
One man in a suit and a tie. The other man not so much. Just same uniform you were wearing. As they get down to you, they pass you, and the
Right.
guy in the suit turns around and he's like, I don't think we've ever met. What's your name?
Oh, you don't remember me? I'm Dave. I wear the name tag. Has Dave on it?
So the guy peeks out from behind the man in the suit with very large glasses on.
Yeah.
Think of the boss from the Earl.
Okay. Oh, I can picture it.
So give me like a romantic nickname for the man in the suit. Hit on him. Seduce this man.
How are you, tall, dark, and handsome?
He blushes.
I'm
I'm
Oh, no.
how are you
no.
doing?
Oh no.
Like he like touches his fingertips together and looks down.
No. Oh no. I'm doing well.
Oh, classic Dave. All right, I'll be going. And he kind of like you notice him like kind of skipping down the hallway. Dave is still here. Dave is staring at you. Like he's very upset. He's almost shaking. He's so upset.
You must be Dave. You're me.
You take my suit. I needed that. I just had it washed. I need this one. Put it back.
So you have a butter knife with you. You got a little bit of cheese.
Uh-huh.
And so are you gonna listen to Dave's like, please put it back, or are you like, I need to get rid of this man before something bad happens? You almost got caught like several moments ago.
It's true. You know what? I think I don't want to cause any more trouble. I think to myself. So I go, listen, Dave. Hey, man. I go, listen, Dave.
Hey, not Dave.
I'm just trying to. I just need some help here.
Okay.
So if you come here for a second.
Yeah.
I gotta talk softly.
Okay.
I put my arm around him.
Yeah. All right. I'm
I
right
go,
here. Yep. I can smell you a little bit.
Listen, Dave.
You smell a little bloody. What happened?
Don't worry about
Are
it.
you getting blood on my uniform? Like I don't.
So I need you to look at the rabbits. And then I stab him in the neck.
All right. You rolled a 1. You stabbed yourself.
Are you kidding me?
In the neck.
You got the way to die.
David is still like muttering to himself. I told you not to take my uniform. I warned you. I told you to put it back, but you didn't listen to me. Now you pay. Like he's like hammering above you, like you on the floor, like drowning, like clawing at Dave, and your vision like slowly darkens out to.
You didn't put my stapler back.
I'm gonna burn down the whole factory. You see him like waddle off, and that's your final image of this edition of Wine or Cheese. Is it? Tune in next week
Are you sure it is?
where we continue the story. I just
Don't I have to
realized
die
we
by a
don't.
bear?
I just realized we don't have to finish the stories for every episode.
There could be cliffhangers.
Yeah. So tune in
True.
next week for we might have another plot line to go down.
Yeah, like you and Luke could set up whole campaigns for me.
You have no idea how fleshed out this story is.
Oh no.
Honestly, I have 80 pages of notes for this plot line.
This story?
This story.
I'm excited. All right.
Excuse me, Mister. I don't want to play D&D. Being excited about this all of a sudden.
Well, I don't want to play D&D. I want to play Wine or Cheese.
This is D&D.
No, it's
The only difference is you don't have stats to go off of. So it's whatever I feel like your stats are is what I'm using.
right. It's arbitrary and cruel.
Yeah.
Which
Dude,
makes it
yeah,
interesting.
That's D&D.
Yeah, dude. Depending on the DM, that's basically D&D.
Nah, that's totally different.
Like some DMs are strict with the numbers. Other DMs are me.
Fine.
If it's funny, it's a plot line.
We'll play D&D sometime.
We are playing D&D. Tune in next week
All
for
right.
the next episode of Wine or Cheese the season.
Where I'm not quite dead, apparently.
Oh, you don't. I mean, he did stab yourself with a butter knife in the neck.
I'm not. I didn't die by a bear, so I'm not dead.
We'll see next week, maybe if we get an
Tune in.
episode out. Next week is Halloween. I completely forgot about that.
Oh, we forgot to wait. That should have been this one, huh?
Yeah. Oh well. Well, see you guys next week. Yeah, I guess. Well, you guys free tomorrow?
It's tomorrow.
I am actually.
Yeah, maybe tomorrow evening.
Yeah, we
Maybe
could
do
actually just do like a quick Halloween episode.
We could do 2 next week.
Yeah.
At least
True.
one on Halloween.
that. Yeah, get a nice backlog.
Well,
Yeah.
I had a question. Since we're off the air.
Yeah?
What were your thoughts about the episode, Luke?
That's a question I was wondering too. Now that we're off the air,
Yeah.
just like how do you feel this episode went? Like, did you have any thoughts on that?
Like any final thoughts, some might say. Did you have any like neurons clicking together?
No. 4 score. 7 years ago.
Yeah.
I pooped him.
What?
You pooped them.
You
Like, like both sides at once, or like did it like just kind of like hang
at
out?
the same time? Like it just kind of.
Was there any? Was
Or
there a
like
trickle
it's
effect?
just squeezing it there, and did it?
Like every
I don't even know.
every pee pee time isn't always a poo poo time. Every poo poo time is
But
a pee
every
pee
poo-poo
time.
time is a pee-pee time.
But Confucius say.
Like, is that true in this case as well?
Yeah, I pooped him.
All right, see you next week. All right, that one became.